purpose of these, just a reminder, and I'm saying this also because these are recorded and they go into the kind of course material, but the purpose of these really is just so that we can share anything that's come up about our Reiki experience since we last met, and any questions that any of us might have. And it's not really just about me answering those, but about, sharing all together our insights and our wisdom, because I certainly don't have all the answers. Sometimes I have one or two, but yeah. So I'm happy to start because I've got a couple of things that I do want to share. So shall I begin?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Please.
Okay. So something I'm pretty sure I mentioned in the last session, and something that's been coming up for me increasingly is entities. And I even did a video about it in the last week or so, because it's just something that's really prevalent in my experience at the moment. And I don't know if this is because it's my focus is shifting into this, or it's something that's happening more, but I'm starting to experience when I'm doing Reiki with people that oftentimes that they've got some kind of entity that is basically feeding off their energy. So like a kind of parasite or a vampire. And I've had a few experiences of this in the last couple of weeks since we last met doing this. But I had an extremely strong experience on Tuesday, so 2 days ago. And it's a woman that's come here for a 2-day detox. And Tuesday was like her second day here, and it was her first treatment. And she is, at the moment, she's dealing with cancer in her breasts. She had one breast removed earlier this year. She's had chemo, so she's very much been going down that route. And then she's kind of decided to look at the holistic approach to healing and to get into kind of detox and holistic healing. She's a Thai woman, so that's quite a challenge for her because the Thais are very much invested in Western medicine. Unfortunately, even though they've got such a rich culture here of, the indigenous culture, but like so many countries in the world, that's being lost. I mean, it's still here. It can still be found, but the Thai people generally now, they're very much sold into the whole kind of Western medical thing. Anyway, so she came for her first treatment on Tuesday, and it was a very powerful session. I was very aware of this dark energy around her that I communicated with. I told it to go. And it seemed to go, and she seemed well afterwards, and I scanned and checked her chakras and everything afterwards. All was very, very good. And I felt that it was a very successful session. And then Tuesday night, stroke early Wednesday morning, oh, good, Rachel's joining us, that I started feeling terrible myself. I was in bed. I was getting awful stomach pains. Started to get diarrhea and vomiting. And then when the morning came, I thought, okay, I'll be okay. I'll go into work. And I had a few sessions booked. I thought, I'll be okay. And I couldn't do anything. Hey, Rachel, I couldn't do anything. So I went back home and I spent the whole afternoon and evening and through last night in bed. But the afternoon turned into basically me coming face to face with this dark, really demonic, dark entity from this that had been with this woman, and it had come with me and attached itself to me, even though I'd told it to go and go to the light and everything. And I had this conversation with this entity. In the end, it left. I almost kind of like had to negotiate a little bit, and then I had to get a bit angry and swear at it and stuff, and then it left. And this is something that has happened to me a few times. It's like when I'm doing treatments with people that have got like some really dark, heavy energy, which is manifested into, you know, some really kind of serious illness or disease. It almost feels like I'm taking it from them and then transmuting it through my body. And yeah, so that was my experience in the last couple of days. Yeah, I feel right as rain today.
Wow.
Once I did that with it yesterday and kind of had this conversation with it and it left, I quickly got better. It's fine. Yeah.
Wow. I guess that's the hazard of a healing profession, you know, to transmute, to pick up some issues of other people that you treat. But honestly, we've already discussed this last time in the previous conversation, and I don't know, to me it doesn't seem safe and right. I think it's your own approach, Simon. I'm sorry to say. Maybe you should shield yourself more.
Yeah.
Because it's I mean,
if an entity is leaving person A, it makes sense that they would try to attach themselves to whatever's closest, because they need to be attached to survive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is what it told me yesterday.
So
this is what it.
Yeah. So, you know, I just think that the woman that you healed is very fortunate that it was you, because if it was somebody else, they wouldn't know what to do. They would be ill as well. And it would just continue eating off of people, you know, jump from one person to another. So if you've got the ability, I know what you're saying, Elena, I agree, it's a dangerous thing. But if you are if I was able to like transmute it and get rid of it, I would feel like I was being useful, if nothing else.
Yeah. So,
you know? But I do understand what you're saying, Elena. Would a salt bath be a good thing to do straight away after?
Probably. So yeah, I mean, I hear where you're coming from, Elena, and sorry, I'm kind of feeling inclined to. That's the way my thoughts are going. I'm starting to feel that, okay, maybe I'm just being. This is the evolution of my Reiki practice, and this is what I'm meant to be doing, and for whatever reason I'm kind of chosen to do it, or it's part of the role. I know in the kind of shamanic traditions, the shaman do this, they consciously do this. They take the bad spirit out of the person that's sick, and then they allow it in, and then they transmute it. So maybe it's just something that I'm being called upon to do.
I think so. It really does look like it was your own, well, maybe not conscious decision, maybe it's on the level of your essence to do this kind of works, to, you know, to filter it through yourself, through your body, through your, I don't know, subconscious, and then transmute and release, pull into the light. But what I found curious is that this dense entity, like low vibe entities, they attach by the resonance method, right? If you vibrate at a much higher level, how is it possible for entities to attach to you unless you invite it at some level?
But maybe, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right there, Elena. Maybe at some kind of subconscious level, I've agreed to do this, you know. But this was exactly the conversation I had with it, because it was saying that it needed somewhere to go or else it was going to die, you know, because it needs like a source of energy. And I said, and this is what I said, almost like I was negotiating with him. I was going, it's okay, you don't need a source of energy because you've got the source of energy, you've got God. You know, all you need to do is go back to God, go back to source, and you'll be okay. So I kind of bartered with it a little bit, and then eventually it left. So I think oftentimes these spirits are like disembodied souls that...
Yeah,
misguided souls. How can the energy die possibly? How can spirit?
I was going to say, you want to say you're already dead. You're an energy.
It can't die, but yeah. So I wanted to share that because it was a really interesting process.
Yes, it is.
That I just literally just finished coming through. Yeah. So
how are you feeling?
Yeah, good. I feel amazing. I actually feel amazing. Like I feel like it's purged something within me as well at the same time. So maybe, as you're saying, Elena, there was some kind of resonance in there that this entity found to attach with. So something within me as well too.
Yeah, it's also triggered detox.
Yeah, so simultaneously, it kind of brought about some healing within me as well.
Well, so, in that case, you also benefit.
Definitely. You know, listen, I'm far from 100% healed. And for sure, when we do this work, we're also receiving the healing, aren't we? You know, we talked about this right from the start.
That's the idea.
So curious.
Great story.
Yeah, interesting. So, and then there was something else. I was hoping Bella was going to be on the call, but maybe she'll watch this back because she brought this up the other day. I was talking to her, and she was concerned for me because, as she understands it, I removed my chakras, and she thinks that leaves me too open. And I wanted to clarify that I haven't removed my chakras, but I've removed what I perceive to be an overlay that people have over their, let's say, their organic chakra system. They have an overlay over it, which is inorganic, which is used to manipulate the chakras. So what I'm doing when I do that, what I call chakra removal, is actually removing the inorganic overlay. That basically interacts with the inorganic matrix to control us.
Right.
Yeah, so when we take that off, then our organic chakra system connects with the organic reality. Yeah.
It makes much more sense after you clarified the process, because before that, removal of like 100% removal of chakras seems a little bit risky indeed.
Yeah, well, I think I've also been kind of refining my understanding of what that is about as well. Because that was just something that came in a meditation last year. So it's, taken me a while to really get clear about what it is that's about. So, yeah. So, Bella, if you do watch this, I hope that makes sense.
It makes sense. It makes sense to me as well. It's like a film over the organic abilities we have. It's like a veil.
Like a veil, but it's also, if you think of this as a simulation that we're part of, that we're players in, that's like the control pad. And it triggers our emotions, because as we know, it's our emotions that really determine our experience and our manifestation within that experience. So it's literally like that, like they're playing a keyboard, triggering all these chakras and playing around with our emotions. Yeah. And actually something else, something else that I had a really interesting conversation today. I'm just getting a little bit off track, but I know you guys will find this interesting. I had a very interesting conversation with a friend today who's just been to Phuket. Phuket's a much busier place than Samui. So in Samui, we don't see many people, really hardly see many people all day, but it was really, really busy. And something he commented on was how the people just seemed like there was just soulless, like there's no one home, do you know what I mean by that, within them?
Absolutely. That's what we discuss in the class group, NPCs, non-playing characters.
Exactly. And
more of them.
But what we theorized, and I just wanted to share this with you, is on the internet now, there's all these supposed bots and trolls and bots and stuff,
Yeah.
But these are these people that have literally been infiltrated by the AI through the screens. So the screens are basically it's not just the visual of what you watch, it's the energetics, and the artificial intelligence interacts with people. And I suppose it's kind of related to what we're just talking about with the overlay of the chakras as well too, because they trigger all the emotions of people as well. But and I think it's also connected to the vaccines in some way, maybe the contents of the vaccine. So the vaccines combined with the artificial intelligence coming through the screen, like an entity that actually, you can almost see that it reaches out from the screen and draws people in. Lots of triggering through the overlay of the chakra system. And these people are literally just getting taken over now by the AI and being kind of like programmed. And and it's almost like the AI is feeding like a parasite off people. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense or resonates, but that was just a conversation that a friend and I had today.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea.
Yeah,
definitely. Well, from what I understand, there is different kind of artificial intelligence, original on our planet, in our realm, and then more aggressive, more like a parasitic style AI overlay on top of the organic creation. So in this regard, definitely it does affect all of us, and it was created to siphon the energy and also to mind control. And whatever they put into injections was designed to enhance and amplify interaction between humans, like human biology and 5G. So definitely there's a huge interplay in this regard.
Yeah, I think when we talk of I think this is relevant, because I think more and more we're going to see in the healing sessions that there is that that the artificial intelligence is the AI, is the parasites, is the black goo, is what's going to potentially be making people sick, so maybe within the sessions we've also got
yeah. I'm just wondering if we're like super sensitive people like you, for example, sense this AI overlay and in excessive amount that makes people sick. How do you approach it? How do you remove it or clear it or whatever? What would be the strategy?
I don't know.
Just hold the hands.
I don't know. I don't know if we just need to buy more and more sage or Palo Santo, or maybe get some more, get some more bowls. Yeah, I don't know. It's
there's a homeopathic remedy for TV emanations. I'm sure there's one for computer emanations as well, or you can make it. It's quite simple to make homeopathic remedies. You can just leave a cup of distilled water in front of your computer and then take a few drops, 2 or 3 drops of that, put it in another cup and fill it with water and succumb it, boom, 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 100 times, shake it up and dump it, fill it again, continue to do that, and you have a homeopathic remedy for TV or computer emanations. Simple to do. Why you laugh?
Sharing this.
Yeah,
I'm a bit of that's what I like to do. I like to make things.
Yeah, we noticed.
You're a witch. You're a white witch. You're a good witch. But yeah, witchery.
I haven't really figured out my powers yet. But yeah, I do some of the weird stuff, and I love doing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I would suggest, that, and in fact, it's so easy.
So, Sari, for how long do you need to, infuse original water with computer emanations?
24 hours. 24. Leave it overnight, sitting in front of your computer.
Does computer supposed to be working all this time, or?
You don't have to. No, doesn't matter. Yeah, doesn't matter.
I'm gonna do it. Maybe next time I will report.
But I mean, I guess for us as healing practitioners, the challenges that we face with the people that come for healing change with time. The things that make people sick are changing, aren't they? So I guess it's an evolution.
Let's call it emerging new diseases of society.
Yeah, definitely.
Lena, just so you know, you can make a remedy out of your own saliva, and then it's a remedy perfect for you. Same way, spit into a cup or into a jar, cover it, succumb it, and do that about 10 times. I mean, you want to succumb it 100 times and then dump it and add more water, and do it again 100 times, dump it and add more water. Water memory is far more potent when it's a smaller amount. That's the whole basis of homeopathy.
So you don't need any like frogs or anything like that in it as well.
Only their tails.
Frogs
don't have tails.
So how many times?
I got it.
How many times do you suggest? Like 3 times to dump and repeat this dilution process?
Depends how strong you want it. So the typical like 30C is 30 times.
30 times? Ooh.
So we're waiting for your videos.
So when you go to like a homeopath, they have a machine. They do it in a machine, and the machine just goes like this. And it does it. But when you're doing it at home and you're not a homeopath and you don't have a machine, it's work. It takes about 45 minutes.
I'm definitely gonna try it, both computer style and saliva, because I do some issues.
Yeah, it's amazing, really.
Thank you
that
for
makes
sharing.
me think that's how breast milk works then, because you basically are walking around with all of these whatever's going in. You get it on your skin. You walk around, the water moves, and you make milk. It's the same thing. That's why you've got antibodies in your milk, isn't it? For whatever the baby has got.
Yeah.
Genius.
Rachel,
Very clever.
Could you please repeat it? I couldn't hear you well.
Oh, I said that's why breast milk works to prevent diseases for the babies,
because mixed saliva.
Yeah, well, it's our whatever the baby's got been exposed to, we've then made a remedy, and then it's water, and it's been moved around constantly, and then it's then fed to the baby. So it works in the same way.
Yeah.
Possibly. Yeah, totally reasonable.
Yeah, definitely.
Working with other people.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been using like setting intention to ask Reiki and healing guides, healing team, whatnot, to heal myself during my sleep, to collapse all space and time into a single point of singularity, to clear blockages that don't serve me anymore. And what I noticed, it's not like I've got major breakthrough in terms of my physical health and stuff. It's not like I had a huge problem to begin with. No, but what I'd like to believe, the side effect of this practice results in something that, the best I could describe, that my whole being is a transmitter of Reiki. Is it possible? It's just, I had a kind of indirect evidence for this outrageous claim in the sense that small animals, like dogs, especially the young one, puppies one, they just like magnetically attracted to me when I go for a walk around my neighborhood. The owners can barely hold them on the leash. The older dogs, they're not as sensitive and don't care. But even wild animals, like visitors on the yard, on my backyard, do the same. Once I was part of my morning ritual is to get the hot water and go outside, to soak in the sun and do some sun gazing if the sky is allowed. And what I noticed once with a lateral vision, something gray approaching me. I was sitting on a stone kind of hedge, what do you call it? This landscaping design style. And I thought, it's interesting. Who let my cat out? I was the first to wake up in the household. And then I turn around and I see a squirrel. We have gray squirrels living in our area in North America. The squirrel was this close to me, totally fearless. I don't feed squirrels. There's no way that she was looking for food from me. It just came. And the other day, I saw, actually, I published video yesterday about this episode. It was absolutely awesome experience. Tiny little baby deer wandered to my backyard. And we're interacting for about 10 minutes. And he was coming to me without any sniffing my legs, my hands, and the amazing magical experience. So how do you, yeah.
Well, I don't think that's an outrageous claim at all. And yeah, definitely. I mean, once we're attuned to Reiki, it's always emanating, but the more that we actually practice it and focus on it, the stronger that becomes. And I have similar experiences as well too with animals. Something I find a lot here is butterflies. Butterflies will just fly around me because there's lots of butterflies over here. But yeah, if I sit on the beach, the dogs all come over and sit down and everything because they're just very sensitive to that energy, aren't
Absolutely. Very much more sensitive than us.
Yeah, for sure. So no, I wouldn't say that's an outrageous claim at all. Would you say that generally you're just kind of you feel well?
Simon, you frozen, kind of cut off.
Have I defrosted yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you repeat, please, what you were saying?
Yeah, no, I was just asking you if you would say that generally you feel a sense of kind of well-being, because you're saying you like practicing this every night and you haven't really necessarily noticed anything significant, but
yeah, I mean, I don't generally I very rarely experience any heavy emotions or what people describe as ascension symptoms. No, I am totally content most of the times and balanced, and I can barely relate to what people are complaining about because I don't know how it feels. This desperation and fears and the anger and the depression. It's totally not typical for me.
Yeah.
So in that sense, Reiki is just...
Me either, Elena, me either. And I've gone to look at what the ascension symptoms are, thinking, well, I'm not ascending. I've got nothing. I've got, no, the last 2 years, I have emotionally been in a better place than the 20 years previous. Seriously, I don't know why. I'm not questioning it either. It just is. I've just been cool. It's cool.
Observer.
Yeah. But I also wanted to say that I haven't been practicing because the two people that I was practicing on weren't available last week. And we never made appointments for this week, if I'm honest. but I'm doing it every night, and I'm like doing my whole room with shokure, sehiki, hashaze, shonin, and shok all around my room and the bottom and top before I go to bed. And I'm asking the universal Reiki energy to heal me whilst I'm sleeping, and the same type of thing. I don't know that anything is different, but I'm not stopping doing it. So something must be happening, because otherwise I would give up. You know, because I'm that way inclined, I would just give up. There you go.
That's great.
Yeah, and also it's worth considering that although in linear time you've only recently been really getting into the Reiki, that doesn't mean that it hasn't had an effect on the past. The Reiki that you're doing now hasn't had an effect on the past and the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hope so, yeah.
That's kind of mind-blowing, isn't it?
Well, that's why I do the hashaze shonen, you know.
Yeah. It can reach wherever.
Asking it to reach out to ancestors as well, because there's like so much ancestral healing that I have, or ancestral rubbish that I have. I'm sure of it. I have no questions about that. That's so ingrained in me, that I'm trying to get rid of some of that.
That makes sense.
I think we all participate in this process, not only ancestral baggage clearance, but, you know, in a broader sense, collective consciousness. Yesterday, Lorraine and I were discussing the main ideas to work on me using her healing tools, and the information like download came to her to use me as a surrogate to clear all kind of issues related, you know, to trauma, to guilt and shame, whatever, in terms of Slavic world, not only Russia, Belarus, Ukraine, but all over, because it's been so fragmented, it's been so divided and infiltrated, basically demonized, especially recently. And it's time to, you know, to heal it. So maybe I will report someday what's the results of this process.
Well, that's quite a responsibility.
Yeah. But I trust Lorraine and her communication. That's why it was so exciting for me, because I got involved. I thought I mentioned before, kind of sucked into this drama, watching how, you know, in real time movie, basically this, you know, action, what's going on between Ukraine and Russia. Basically, it's between Russia and the West, NATO conflict. And I thought there must be a reason for that, why I'm so involved with this, and sure enough, that was. It's just, it takes a little bit of, you know, switch from the perception, from that little insignificant me to I am we all are one, and I'm a fractal of much bigger consciousness, and as such I can affect, as a, you know, in a way that I cannot even perceive and comprehend, but nevertheless in a very meaningful way, which is hard to understand, at least on the level of consciousness.
Well, yeah, that's just the ego is the little me, isn't it? The little I, and isn't that a big part of what this great awakening is about, really waking up to our true magnificence and potential as, you know, as fractals of source. Yeah. And for sure, we've all come here at this time with jobs to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's your job. You just need to sort out the whole of, you know, the Slavic nations, you know. Don't worry, no pressure, just do it on your own, you know. Yeah.
Well, so Rachel, do you have anything to share today?
I don't know, because I'm not sure how relevant it is, but Simon and I talked about Florence Scovel Shinn, didn't we?
Oh, yeah.
Simon, you told me I should
Yeah.
listen to her, and I kind of went to town with it and got really, I just couldn't hear enough of it. I don't know if you guys have listened to her. Florence Scovel Shinn, that's her name.
No.
Florence
she-
Scovel Shinn, yeah.
You
She-
put a link up.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Did we discuss this? Has she got Audible books?
Yes, in fact,
Yes.
I think Bella mentioned a little while ago
Yeah.
as well, because she
Okay.
was saying she's a bit kind of Christian, which she is, but yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, but I spent a
Yes.
long time in churches when I was younger, so I can kind of tell you there's such a difference as well, because it's never telling you that you need to be doing what you need to be doing. It's all about principles. That's what I like about her. And I can put aside what's about God. You know, you can put it into context of universe or however you want to look at it. But the concept, it's about concepts and law of attraction and law of this and law of that and how it all works. And I had like a few really good days with it, like just things began to manifest, like I just couldn't understand what was going on. Like I'd get an idea and then something would happen, or I'd receive things, which is like I just couldn't believe it. Like at the moment, because my doula work has just like disappeared, I've been working unloading parcels in the mornings. Like at 5:30 in the morning I go and unload lorries, and I decided I was waiting for a lorry and decided that I would like to look at accessories, and I just don't bother shopping, like, because we haven't had loads of money and I was looking at accessories. I was like, oh, this ring's nice, this, that, is whatever. And then I came across these sunglasses and I was like, oh, I don't know where my sunglasses are. And I've been driving in, you know, it's been quite sunny in England, which is unusual. I was like, oh, I probably should have some for driving. And then I forgot about it, got on with my day, went back in to unload the lorry, and a pair of sunglasses fell off, not in a parcel, and they just got handed to me, and I just took them home because they're not going anywhere. They weren't in a parcel, they weren't addressed, they were just there, like brand new sunglasses. And I was just like, oh my goodness. And it was like that all week. I just had things going on. But yesterday, I don't know what's going on. I went into work and the energy felt weird. And yeah, it was weird all day. Like it was almost like every weird thought that I was having, I don't know if it was mine or if it was coming from the people around me, but it was just icky thoughts. Not icky thoughts, like just down, just people feeling down. And then like I would manifest something that was bad that would happen, just annoying things or arguments or baby crying, or so yeah, it was weird because yesterday was just, it was like in reverse of what was meant to happen. But again, it's sort of me trying to learn how to tune into the frequency of where I should be, if that makes sense. So, and as well, like I get really like sort of like Elena was saying as well, like I get anxious, like, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? And I had started to level with that and be like, no, actually I do know what I'm supposed to be doing, and I am doing it. So that, yeah, and that's a new state for me, because I'm always in that headspace going, yeah, but should I? Even though like for my birth work, I sit there and I teach people how to come out of their head and just give birth and be free and all of this, and I can do that when I have a baby, but in my life I'm like blah 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 blah, like am I doing the right thing, constantly checking on myself. So to be in a really free space was interesting, and I hope that I can carry on.
It's awesome.
You know, before we're talking about entities, one of the ways that entities work through us is thoughts in our head that, like you were just saying, you didn't even know if they were your own thoughts. You know?
Yeah.
And that's
Exactly.
That's what they kind of plant, these thoughts. And then, when you listen to something like Florence Scovel Shinn, because I love her stuff, I've got about 4 of her books downloaded.
Yeah, I did the same.
And I often fall asleep listening to one of them.
That's
because
what I do. Yeah.
they're so uplifting. They just raise
Yeah.
you into that higher vibration. And that's where manifestation happens, when you're in that higher vibration, doesn't it? You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's what I was feeling, that's what I've been doing. I've just been putting the YouTube of Florence Scovel Shinn on at night, and I can just, I can feel every person is a link in the chain of my good, and those kinds of little things that stick in your head, and then you think, okay, I've got a situation, and it can be really, really small, and you start to think, okay, but this is for my good, so I have to not respond with this emotional trigger or whatever. When I learn not to have the emotional trigger, then the situation will resolve itself, and that is, I think that's what I'm learning at the moment, and it's tricky.
Okay, guys, I have difficulty to get the name right. Could someone put a link or maybe in the group chat?
Yeah, we'll post some YouTube vids in the group chat from her.
Okay, so there is a link there.
Yeah, there's some. No, I will do, but
It's back a couple weeks ago, though.
For audio.
Florence. Okay, thank you.
But for the audio books, they're really great. And there's one woman called Lila, I think she's called, that reads them, and she's got a lovely voice, and they're really good. So Rachel, have you been actually managing to do any Reiki practice at all, specifically, or is it just more?
Not much. I did. I had some bookings, but I'm trying to think. Well, I think it was last week. My days are all over the place. And I did do some Reiki. I could just sense, like, I guess, what can I sense? Not really words, but I just sense kind of ideas maybe coming off of the person, and I'm finding that I have to interpret what I'm feeling on the person into words. I don't necessarily have to interpret it for them, but just for my own self. So when I sort of put my hand, I don't touch people when I do Reiki unless I feel drawn to. I tend to keep my hands above them, and then sometimes I feel drawn to touch people's feet. That seems to be the place where, or knees. Those seem to be the two things. And I just get sense, like, I think I said to you before, Simon, didn't I? Like, somebody, it was their throat, and I said, it's just like there's loads of vibration going on there, and I was trying to translate it into something, and I came up with, maybe there's something you need to say to someone that when you've said it, you're going to feel a lot better. And it turned out that was right. That situation was really relevant to this person. But I think I need to practice that more. Mostly the Reiki that I do is just on myself or the kids. So my son had he seemed like he was teething, kept putting his finger in his mouth, but I couldn't really see any teeth or anything coming through. And I just felt, I put my hand on the back of his head and just felt like his body was saying, no, it's my back. And then I started to massage his back, and he just had knots like all down one side. So after I did that, he slept. So he'd been waking up with toothache, but then slept after I rubbed his back. So it's just sort of me learning how different areas are connected, I think. And that sort of thing.
It's beautiful. I remember when I first got access to Reiki, so to say. My kids were very, very young. Every time I put my hands on them, they just go to sleep almost immediately.
Yeah.
So funny.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds, Rachel, as if like you have this this innate skill of communicating with the body. It's like you're
Like, but yeah, the bodies,
yeah.
people's bodies like send me messages, but I'm
Yeah.
not very good at interpreting that, if that makes sense. No, I can interpret, but I don't know how to tell the person. That's what it is. I don't.
Do you need to tell them, or
Maybe not. Maybe like sometimes if somebody comes to me and they're like, "Oh, my shoulders are bad, my shoulder," and I'll put my hand on their shoulder, and I'll get a message like my foot is angry. So it's yeah, but I don't necessarily know what that means or why. I don't know enough. Does that make sense?
I don't think it matters if you know if you're hearing it.
yeah, just follow your intuition, isn't it? It's like a breadcrumb trail. You just have to keep following it and see where it kind of takes you. Yeah.
And I just have to learn to know when to say things, because this is another thing that we talked about that I've been doing as well. You said to me, make videos and say what you have to say.
Oh yeah.
And I find that really hard. Yeah. So I come here. Now you're gonna be noisy. Come on. I've been making videos every morning when I get in the car before I go to work, and but it's really hard because I worry about what I say. I haven't posted them yet. Yeah, so that's something that I need to really work on. Is just not knowing what to. There's a lot of things that I could say that might be helpful to people, but I just don't know how to and when to, and that's something that I need to work on.
But when you're in these groups, I mean, you express what you need to say very clearly. So yeah, you do.
I worry about that. Yeah, I feel really nervous about it. Like even when I speak on here, I feel like it takes me time to work up to it.
Yeah, but that's also just ego.
Yeah.
And we, I have the same issue. I think I sent you my video. I've never posted it. I only made, I think I made 2, but yeah, it's just our egos, and we can't help it. We're human.
Yeah. Are we?
Well, we think we are. I keep telling myself I'm a light being in a human body, having a human experience.
Right. Yeah. Well, you are.
We all are.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, has anyone else got anything to share about their Reiki experience or any questions for this week?
I really am sad that I missed the Reiki share.
Yes, so that's going to be next Thursday. So every other Thursday is that.
Yeah.
And then every other Thursday is this, basically. Yeah, it was lovely, but we'll do it again. Something I just wanted to start to think about is I was thinking about when to do the Reiki Master course in terms of when it's good for me, but also when it's good for everyone else. And it's looking for me that it will be like around September would be a good time. Got busy couple of months ahead at the moment.
Good.
And I think we all need time just to properly integrate what we've already learned. Yeah. So.
It's very exciting. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah. Good. Okay.
All right. I think it's a good time to wrap it up.
How are the plants, Elena? Are they blooming?
What blooming?
Your plants. Your
Oh,
plants.
plants. Oh, you know, the blooms go in wave. One starts to bloom and another plants, you know, wither. It's great. We just had a peony season. They kind of going away, getting old and dissipate. It's beautiful. I like it. Very rewarding. The funny thing, having a garden available, so I can totally relate to it. It's just, oh my gosh, it gives so much joy and satisfaction just to watch it grow, to bloom, to go away, another wave of bloom. And then the vegetable garden, it's totally different area. Yeah, and I continue to treat with Reiki almost every day. And they do respond. Oh my God. I don't have a control because it's almost impossible to have a separate piece of garden not to be affected, because it's an energy, it goes everywhere. Anyway, I love it.
I think my garden Reiki has made my slugs very strong.
What?
They get everywhere. It's amazing. But I bought these little wool pellets that you put down and they won't go on wool because it sticks to them. Oh. So and then when the wool gets wet, it makes like a carpet around the plant, like a little mat. So I'm going to go buy another big, huge thing of those and cover my blooming garden. I haven't had one strawberry. They eat all my strawberries.
Well, they know good stuff, right?
Absolutely. Okay.
All right, guys. Lovely to connect with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll see you next week.
Yeah, see you next week.
Thank you, Simon.
Thank you. Thanks, Rachel.
You all.
Thanks,
Have a
everyone.
good day.
Bye-bye. Bye.